Hi, everyone. I wanted to give you a last post, and what a perfect day for it. The news is filled with Rhonda Gerard's tweet and the repercussions that have come to the university because of her, not only her tweet about Barbara Bush, but also her directing phone call to another university's hotline. It just becomes very, very complicated and complex, but really kind of speaks to the whole issue surrounding education of uh, freedom of speech, as well as hate issues and issues of racism and prejudice and all of that. And you see them all coming around, swirling around in this one incident. It's a very unfortunate thing. We should be able to talk rationally about these things, but nevertheless are often not. I was so interested in many of your comments and writings about racism when I asked you to define it and then talk about white privilege. And I collected some really interesting things, and it's in, I've put it in an adjunct piece of paper that I'm going to attach to this. So it's in an attachment. So I hope you'll take a look at it to see how differently some of you were looking at it and thinking about it. But a lot of you brought up very interesting points, and various points too, not just pro and con, but a whole range of variations. And this is where this class just doesn't cut it, does it? Because we should be together in a room talking about all of this. And it's just very difficult to do. And it's so easy to respond online with some kind of an angry response or a quick response that you haven't thought through very much. It's just so much better to speak together in person. But one of the, some of the issues around racism really have come to the fore in her tweet. She tweeted that Barbara Bush was a racist, and on a variety of levels. I'd never heard Barbara Bush called a racist before, so I thought, well, I'd better find out what she's talking about. And I did. I looked up a couple of things and saw that one criticism of Barbara Bush was something that she said after the Katrina hurricane, when many people from Louisiana were coming into Texas on an emergency basis because everything was flooded in Louisiana. And predominantly they were Black and predominantly poor. And Barbara Bush's response was, I'll admit, pretty insensitive. Oh, these people are coming here and they like it here because we're so welcoming. But gosh, ultimately she was saying they shouldn't get too comfortable here because it's expensive here for us to maintain all this emergency servicing. I was assuming that that's what she was talking about. But again, we should talk about this. Other people might have a completely different view, obviously do. I didn't find that particularly racist. I found it insensitive. The other thing that she was criticized for was in her biography, stating that Anita Hill, remember she was the African-American attorney who worked with Clarence Thomas, and at his hearings for nomination to the Supreme Court, alleged that he'd sexually harassed her. And Barbara Bush said, well, I can't believe that a woman who is a Yale graduate, who's a competent attorney, and who's followed this man from job to job, couldn't fend off her own problems with sexual harassment. Well, I don't know that I find that particularly racist, and yet those are the things that are being hurled at her to support this claim that she was a racist. Not to mention the fact that the norms of our culture are that you don't attack someone who's just died. That's just the norm of American culture, I would say. So it's really interesting how ideas of racism, norms of culture are really intersecting here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about racism, and I have, mainly because it is one of the big issues that really follows us everywhere. And as somebody pointed out, if everything is all Western society's fault for having established America and having established slavery here, if everything is Western Europe's fault because they're white, then we can never have a conversation about how to change this, because you're just de facto racist because you're white and out of that Western culture. One of the things I have to mention, though, is that American culture, all the things that we hold so dear, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, our ideas of justice, our ideas that that we have a claim to individual responsibility, that we are equal before the law, they all come from Western thinking, and we benefit from that. All of us do, and we can't forget that. So one of the things with multiculturalism, again, very often it sounds like an attack on American culture to say we have to have a multicultural attitude. We have to appreciate all these other cultures of immigrants and different groups who are part of our school system. And I don't see it as an attack on American culture. What I see it is that there are many cultures that are trying to accommodate themselves or fit into American culture, and they have to learn what that is. We have to give them that opportunity. And while that's happening, we also have to be sensitive to those cultures and to the positives that they can bring to us. That said, I don't tend to think of LGBT and transgender as a particular culture, but I do tend to think of that as an issue that children have, that we have to pay attention to. And the bottom line is that we as teachers are people that parents have entrusted their children to. And we have to be sensitive to a variety of needs that those children bring to us. And we have to be their guides in how to learn how to interact in American culture. And we also have to be sensitive to their needs for recognition, acknowledgement, and building a sense of safety and trust for them. So those are all really, really important for us. And from all of your readings, I get the sense that all of you are really aware of that and really thinking about those issues. So I appreciate all the answers that you've given and many of your responses. I wanted to let you know that there will only be 2 assignments coming up: an assignment around testing, which is has a huge impact on schools, and then the final chapters of the book that we've been reading. And you'll have until May 7th to get everything completed. Some of you have to still go back through your assignments, get anything done that needs to be done, and get it in no later than May 7th. I don't spend every day going back through to try to find things that have been reposted. So it would be a good idea if you're reposting something, or if you're posting something very, 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 very late. There are only a few of you who are having that problem. Then you need to email me and let me know so that I will go back and look. So that said, I wanted to let you know I've enjoyed working with you. I've enjoyed reading everything that you have posted online. And I wish you all the best of luck as you move forward in your teaching careers. 2 last things. One, there isn't a way to evaluate the class on Blackboard. It's the only thing I've posted under this class on Blackboard. So go ahead and take a few minutes and do that, please. And then the other thing is, I found coming back in to look at your assignments this time that I had skipped over 2 assignments and hadn't scored them. So I went through them very quickly just recently to try to get them. And I try to respond to try to put at least 1 comment in everybody's post. I don't always manage to do that, but I try to. And so those have been posted. What happened, I think, was I had a foot surgery, and I just got behind, and I was so surprised to find these. Kind of jolted me. But at any rate, everything will be scored within the next week or so. I will post the new assignment this coming weekend to give you a few days breather. And again, good luck, everybody. I know that you'll all be wonderful educators. Hope to meet you all in person sometime. At any rate, take care, everyone, and keep in mind all these interesting issues that swirl around us in education every day. Bye-bye.